Hello, good evening. Welcome to Talking Kop. It's me, Chris Brack, and I'm here with Kev, and I'm here with Ashley. Sorry we're late. You know what Ashley's like. She's a diva. Comes what she wants, and Kev likes to have a big chat before the game, before the show even starts. It's all good fun. How are we all?
Feels like roadkill after you just threw me into the bus there, but otherwise,
Matt's not here, so that's the joy of being a host.
Thanks for
you
that.
could have done the hosting.
Enjoy tonight's football, to be honest. I don't know what games you guys ended up settling on, but I enjoyed the Madrid derby.
Yeah. I had Madrid on my iPad, then I had the first 60 of Arsenal, then I got bored of it. I mean, there was loads of goals in it, but it was like...
They're back. They're back. Did you
know they're back? They're back, honestly. Yeah. I mean, they don't need to strike it out. So...
no, they got left back. They got a left back that they can bring off the bench and score. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what would be so funny now, though? Is they'll draw 1-1 United.
I mean, United likes to up their game against big opponents, so I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah, but I mean, everyone's big opponents United when you're 15th, I suppose.
Yeah.
Anyway, get the body in early. That's United. Ashley, it's just Kev to go now. I've got the full set. So
you have about swinging tonight. I don't know what you had for coffee or whatever, but
it just felt like it was my turn to be the pain, because there's no Matt. So I'm building myself up for the weekend. So, are we all looking forward to this?
Yeah, I am actually, because look...
You sure about that? You've been so convinced that.
It's not that it's a free hit. Look, for me, the most important thing is the league. I want to win the league, desperate to win the league. Want to win the League Cup, hope to God we can win the League Cup. Anything we do in Europe, absolute icing, cherry and the icing on the cake. I'm happy enough. It's like... I was on with Gav last night, and we were chatting about this PSG game. This is a 50-50. They are the best side in domestic football in Europe this season. They're unbeaten. They're flying domestically. They've only really been tested in Europe very early on in the season. And it seems like Luis Enrique has made some adjustments to how they press since then. And since then, they've been really, really good. Saying all of that, we're still a really good side. And we carry threats all over the pitch as well. It's, for me, this is a pure 50-50 game. Over the two legs, it could go any way. And I wouldn't be surprised if the winner of the Champions League comes out of this tie.
Do you think that highly of PSG?
This version of PSG, yeah, because they got rid of the prima donnas, they got rid of the superstars. They've boiled it down to... They made the decision while Mbappe was still there to go back to try to bring back some of the best young French players that were scattered all over Europe and bring them back to Paris. And they've peppered that with some really talented, young, up-and-coming players that they've kind of looked at what we did with bringing in players that were at the B+ level but had the potential to go to A and A+.
They did it at like a higher level than we did in terms of price, though. Yeah. Like,
oh yeah, they did,
I don't know. If you're gonna take like a Neves or something, and you're like, oh yeah, we're gonna take a risk on him. Like that would have been a landmark signing for us. And I feel like for them, they've just sort of accumulated those signings quietly, I guess.
I think a lot of that is the market, the way it's shifted with the signings that they made for midfielders. I mean, it's good money for a midfielder. I think, what did they pay? 75 million for him?
It wasn't like a small, I don't know. I guess when I hear you say that, I think of like Andy Robertson as like this kind of plucky underdog that we're taking before he breaks onto the big stage, or even like a Mane or a Salah, but they were at like 30, 35-ish.
Yeah. But I suppose that was the market then.
Today that's probably 50 million, isn't it? 50, 60, isn't it, I suppose.
And the other side of it is when we were signing the likes of Andy Robertson, we weren't trying to win a Champions League and we weren't trying to win a domestic league in that year as well. So it's like, it's almost a given now that PSG are going to win their domestic league. It's a major disaster if anyone even gets close. It's like you're almost sacking a manager if someone is within a few points of you. because it shouldn't be that close. But saying all of that, they still expect to go deep in Europe every year. So irrespective of who goes through, someone is going to go out. And the one that goes out are potentially good enough to go and win it. So when Luis Enrique says in his press conference that this could have been I agree with him. I think if this was the Champions League final, I don't think anyone would have batted an eyelid. Everyone would be really looking forward to it. I think I still fancy. I'll jump to the end because I said it last night. I fancy us to go through over the two legs, but it's going to be close. We're going to have to be really at our best defensively and offensively to get through this tie. But the confidence that you can gain from getting through this tie could take you a long way.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, this is only the 5th time we've played PSG. So I think we've lost 2, we've won 2. Won both games at Anfield, lost both games at their place. So that's the record at the moment. But actually, I mean, Kev's right. I think this is probably the more difficult time. I mean, I've seen a lot of people get very upset, saying, what was the point of finishing top of the group? How come we got diddled with this? And probably because no one expected PSG to finish 15th in the group. That's just the way. No one expected Brest to finish 10th. Guess what? That's just luck of a draw. We saw it the year we won the Champions League. We finished top of our group and got Bayern Munich, who finished second because they had a bit of an average groups game. It can happen. On paper, if they get past PSG, you would argue the quarterfinal isn't as difficult as PSG. That's not disrespecting Villa or Bruges, but you would say PSG are better than both of them. So,
yeah, I tend to agree with that. I think there's still some fine tuning that could happen. I mean, I think you look at Bruges getting through. They were like the bottom placed team to have gotten through those playoff rounds or whatever you want to call them. I think it would make a lot more sense to me in my head if it was sort of like an NFL style where the top placed seed gets the bottom, like the lowest team. So for me, that would be Bruges, and that would have made sense to me. I think that going forward, they might tinker with that. But then again, they might not. They might really like these glamour ties, and they might really love the fact that Liverpool is playing PSG. And, I mean, the game today with the 2 Madrid teams, that was another kind of like could have been a final game. You have these big clashes, and that's what they want to see. So I guess when you're selling your product, it's probably not the worst thing for them. I guess just from a purely fair sportsmanship perspective, I think it's something that could probably just be tweaked a little bit. But, it's like everyone says, like you have to face the big teams to get to the final. You're not going to be able to go all the way to the final not facing anyone. You're going to hit some speed bumps along the way. And I agree with Kev in terms of if we do get past this test, and I don't necessarily look at them quite as highly as Kev does. I think that they're really bright and young and sparky. And I think that there's a lot that's going to mirror our style of play. I personally would think maybe Barcelona would be my favorite for winning over PSG. I think there are a couple other teams that I just put like just one rung higher than them. But I think it's going to make for a really, really interesting tie. And I think whoever wins it is going to come out feeling like they're on top of the world.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, looking at the early game tonight, Club Bruges lost 3-1 to Villa. I mean, Bruges actually played quite well, probably gifted Villa a couple of chances, but listen, Villa took the chances. But, Bruges beat the team that finished 9th in Atalanta. So, they're no mugs. That's a good win. Good win for Villa. And, it wouldn't be if Atalanta had got past Club Bruges, no one would be then saying, "Oh, this tie thing's a bit of a nonsense." So it's just the way it works sometimes. But in terms of our, yeah, so in terms of the presser, Endo did the presser, which caught a few of us off guard because the rule of thumb tends to be if a player does the presser for starting, I don't think Endo started, but he handled the presser well.
I think they put Endo up so they wouldn't answer any questions in great detail. And I love Endo. I think he's fantastic. But I think his English is very limited. And I think he's very limited to certain phrases that he's been told by the manager about
it's probably
what to expect.
His third language? I'd imagine.
At least.
I mean, because
I
he
think
speaks German, I believe,
He's fluent in German, isn't he?
He definitely speaks French.
He's got his native language.
Yeah, he speaks a bit of French as well, because one of the questions at the end, the reporter asked him, he was half putting his mic in and taking it out. So but he understood what was being said. So yeah, I think he speaks a bit of French.
It's way more than I can understand. I don't even have a third language. My second language is poor at best. So
my French is very limited to what I can speak or what I can remember in school. My Irish is shot to shit. I can barely string a sentence together in Irish anymore. So yeah, I was just delighted to see him. I was delighted to see him talking.
Yeah.
But I was sat there in my, please don't let anything slip about a potential team that you've been told and you're not supposed to tell anyone.
No, he's a professional.
He was very good.
Yeah. He's been around the block. He is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then in terms of slot, opening gambit was always going to be Ashley. So let's talk about your ban and the information that's come out. And I think we saw about there. He handled that in quite a good way where he's diffused the situation, probably took some pressure off Michael Oliver, which may be doing the PGMOL a favour for next time. But it also came out, while he didn't make a big deal of it, he made it very clear that how it's been described, what he said, is from the referee isn't how he remembers it. But as Kev, I think, was pointing out to us, I think on Sky they were basically saying it's slightly irrelevant what he said. The fact he went back for a second time to have another pop, and it'll be his second time he's had a run-in with a referee. They're like, he was always going to get a ban. I think because he's apologised and probably helped diffuse the situation. That's why it's only a 2-game ban and he's not going to miss a cup final.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've had other managers in the past that probably wouldn't have handled it in quite the same way today. I think that the way he handled it felt very much like, I don't know, he feels very clever to me in terms of like understanding the way to kind of play the media, to play the PGMOL. Like it feels like he, in his head, like understands what he's doing is going to have a domino effect like 3 or 4 months down the road. So I think what he was doing today, very much like you were saying, was diffusing the situation, was being clever about it, was taking kind of the heat out of it. And that felt very refreshing. He
took a lot of pressure off. He took a lot of pressure off Oliver because, like you said,
he did. I mean, he could have quite easily said, "Well, I only told the truth," which I think all of us as fans would probably agree with. Where we all kind of agree that his refereeing standards have not been up to par recently. And for him to say, I'm not gonna throw him under the bus. I'm going, I think we need to move on from the subject. Like, I thought that was very smart. I thought that was something that, like I said, it feels very much like he is thinking about how his words have repercussions and he doesn't want to do anything to damage the team going forward. And we've seen in the past, I think it's been dubbed like Brooksgate or something, where Klopp came out, spoke against the officials, and it immediately had a very, very negative effect on how we were refereed going forward, not just like right after the incident, but for months and months and months after the incident, it negatively affected our team. And I think Slot probably knows that. I think that he's clever enough to realize that this is not the battle to be going after. It's not worth it.
No, you leave it to your assistant. He just turns around to it and says, "You're fucking shit." And quite frankly, we all went, "That's fair enough." Which is probably why they only got a 2-game ban. Because I wonder if the PGML went, "You are technically right, but because you swore, we have to still give you the ban. That's why it's only 2 games, not 3, because you haven't technically lied." But we'll go from there. What are you up to there? I wish oh, you go. Real talk. I wish Slot had said, "If we lose the league, I'll put you through the wall."
That might have been a 3-game ban.
That might have been a 3-game ban.
That would have still been kind to what I was saying in my front room that night. I can guarantee you that.
I mean, to be honest, and it was interesting. Brought it up saying, Slot highlighted other managers who have probably said worse and not got that.
I still think they were trying to make an example out of him, especially this year with all of the referees having, again, not being at their peak performance. I think it was a prime example where you have the league leaders where they can be like, you can't say anything against us.
it'll be interesting. The next controversial decision, which will probably, who's Michael Oliver got this weekend?
I don't know.
Has he got Arsenal? I hope he's got Arsenal Man United because that'd be fucking hilarious. Just for shits and giggles, that would be really funny. But anyway, the next controversial refereeing performance. Let's see what happens because there will be another manager who turns around and says something to an official. It will happen. So let's see how consistent they are with it. Yeah. So, but
I don't know. I mean that decision or non-decision that he made the other night. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how he sees that and he doesn't look at it and immediately think red card. I know we've discussed this as like ad nauseum, so we don't need to go through it again. But I do think that, if there is a review board, which there supposedly is, like you've got to be looking at him saying, like something's going on with this guy. We got to take him out of the spotlight. So maybe that is, as Matt is saying, why he has the weekend off. Maybe they are deliberately taking him out of the spotlight.
Yeah. I mean, if you're an organisation that looks to evolve and improve, which, let's be honest, PGMLL have never been this sort of organisation, you may also have to look in your league going, you've got a manager who's coming to the league with no disciplinary record. Nothing at all.
He's got no history of this kind of behavior.
And in 6 months, he's got 2 bans. So, and I don't think he's gone to a raving lunatic in 6 months. I mean, he may have done, the officials could do that to me. I did think.
I mean, they've surprised us a few times this year where, I did not expect them to say what they were going to say. So I don't know.
Yeah. So interesting. Breaking news. Kev just brought it up here. And Next Level also mentioned this.
That Lewis Hall injury that he went to the specialist for.
Yeah, Lewis Hall is out of the cup final. That's a blow to Newcastle because he was very good. He's very, very good.
Yeah, I think it was a few days ago they said that he went to a specialist on, I think it was a foot injury. So it wasn't confirmed that he was out, but that is a big
who would
blow.
Who would be left back for Newcastle then? Where's Dave T? Come on, Dave T. You should be in the chat.
Genuinely.
I mean, unless they play Trippier on the other side, maybe.
Quite possibly,
He's a doubt with a back injury.
Yeah, I mean, look, credit where it's due.
I mean, they've got Livermento and Byrne that can play. I don't know if one of them can play on the opposite side.
That was a really clever bit of business to get Lewis Hall in for the fee.
Yeah, they played Livermento left back last in the cup.
Yeah, so I guess yes.
He's a really good player. Cahill is saying there that it's been confirmed that Newcastle will not appeal the Anthony Gordon red card against Brighton on Sunday.
Okay.
I would have. Half of me was hoping that they would, because they'd have tagged on an extra game for a frivolous waste of their time. I mean, that's as red card as a red card you'll ever see.
Probably why they're not doing it.
Yeah, but I mean, that's for down the line. I mean, look, we'll see how that one goes on. But
yeah, but otherwise, in team news, the only sort of doubt seems to be actually is Gakpo, who wasn't in any of the open training sessions.
Yeah,
and a lot of the local patch was saying, "Here's the 24-man squad that's going." And the all-way point said, "Gakpo is going. Gakpo is going." So I think Slot said.
He said it was just a tackle or something that he had made.
Block shot, and he said he felt some pain. So it could just be like an impact.
It might not be. Hopefully, it's not any sort of reoccurrence of the last injury that he had. If it is just, I don't know, like a bruise or something that, feels off. I mean, it would make sense that would be something that they could maybe wait until tomorrow to decide. I don't think he could go, they wouldn't risk him if he wasn't borderline. So the fact that he's even going and traveling, going on a plane and everything means to me that it probably wasn't that serious.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
I think they'll want him in and around the squad anyway. Even if he's not going to be involved, I think they'll want him in and around everything. I think they'll want everyone involved as much as possible from here on out.
It asks questions too, where it's like, what lineup are they putting out? Is he going to play? Is he not going to play?
Yeah, I suppose the other thing Liverpool have got to be careful about is Elliott, Canati, and Robertson are all 1 yellow away from suspension.
Is it just them three, or is
there... three? Someone mentioned McAllister, but he's on 4 yellows, so he's already had his suspension.
Okay.
Isn't it every 3? Isn't it when you get to 3, you get a suspension? So he's on 4, so he's already had his one, as far as I'm aware. So that was the one that I wasn't quite sure about. And then for them, Dembele and Fabian Ruiz are all 1 yellow away from suspension. So things to bear in mind, because it could be a very big second leg for Joe Ponta.
Hopefully the game is refereed like the Madrid one was tonight. Now look, if you're going to get a tense tie,
wasn't the only yellow for the
for Brian Diaz? No, well, yeah, he was gobby in the technical area, but Brian Diaz got a yellow card.
Oh, because he jumped into the crowd, didn't he?
Jumping into the crowd. And I think there might have been one other one late on, but the referee that, I mean, you'll know him when you see him.
Yeah, I know
he's one of the best referees in Europe.
Was it the Trossard lookalike? Was that him?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, and one of the best referees in Europe by a distance in my eyes. And he just refereed. He
usually gets the big ties.
Yeah, and I just hope that tomorrow night's game is refereed in the same manner, because I don't think it's going to be a nasty game. I don't think it's going to be nasty tackles or anything like that. I think it'll be aggressive. No, I just think it'll be one of those games. God, I love Endo, but he's not getting anywhere near them. You know, the pace of that front five.
It would greatly surprise me if he was starting. Like I do think that, you know, it was a bit of a wrench when they threw that in as you know, when whoever does the press conference does start, but that could just be mind games. That again, like I said, Spot's clever. I don't know. That might be like a chess move or something. I can't see him starting.
No.
Go on, Ashley. Pick us a side.
For us?
Yeah. We can pick theirs if you want. I don't mind.
No, I mean, I don't know them well enough to say it with any sort of conviction. I mean, for us, I think you're going to go Virgil Konate in the back. You know, I think Konate going to Paris is going to be interesting. Hopefully, you know, has a big game there. I think probably he goes the tried and trusted Alexander-Arnold and Robertson combo. Again, I don't like the idea. I don't think we have a super strong left back at the moment to go against those forwards, but I think Robertson just edges it on experience. So I think I'd go with them. I think the big call is, do you go with that kind of 4-2-2-2 that we saw versus City, or do you go with our standard kind of 4-3-3? I'm leaning toward the City setup, especially since if Gakpo is going to be out. I think that we've seen Slot go a little bit more conservative in the first legs. We've seen that in the Spurs game. So I'm going to go McAllister, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, Jones with Diaz and Salah up top would be my guess. I think I can make an argument for Jota if you wanted to do a little bit more of an attacking front foot setup, but I think that's what I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I was listening to, I think it was David Rapper mentioned it. PSG dominated the ball against City. I know City aren't what they used to be, Kev, but City had like 40% possession away at PSG. And when was the last time you heard City having 40% possession against anybody? You know, City are very, and Liverpool become more possession based over the years. You know, the back end of Klopp and, you know, Slot is more possession based, but I think that City setup makes sense because we won that game with not much of the ball. Now, I think Slot will want to use the ball a bit better than what we did against City, but I think it's one of those games where you're going to have to love not having the ball, and it's all going to be about discipline.
Yeah, look, I think it's unfortunate, but I think our starting 11 is as predictable as a stop clock. You know, I don't think it's going to change. I think it'll be a normal starting 11. Gakpo would have played instead of Diaz, but I think that's going to be the only change. I think I'd agree with Ashley on almost all of it. I think Jota probably does start because the best way you could describe PSG from the highlight, and I watched I watched about 7 of their games today, the extended highlights of them. They're so much a mirror of us under Klopp. It's scary. They're man for man, pressing like lunatics, really aggressive, really go for the ball. They'll gamble and they'll take the risks. But if you can break through the press, you can really fly. You can really get on the break on them.
This could be a game for Virgil's big Diags.
this is where
I think the difference is in defense, to be honest. I think that you could probably make an argument for either forward line or either midfield. I think the difference that we have is our experience in defense.
Yeah, I think that you go with the normal back four: Trent, Konate, Virgil, Robbo, Gravenberch, McAllister midfield, Szoboszlai, Salah, Diaz, Jota for me. But I think Trent whipping Diags out to Diaz, and Virgil doing the same out to Salah. I think that'll be what they'll be looking for. Try to be direct. Play through the press when you can, when it's on. If not, go over the top and try to get in behind them that way. It's going to be, I think it's not going to be backs to the wall, but I honestly say, you have the ball. We're not going to, it'll be very, very like City. Jota will have to work back. Diaz and Salah will both have to work back, because especially Luis Diaz and Andy Robertson on that side, because Hakimi will end up like a right winger at times. He will bomb on, and he don't care.
And he's very, very good on the ball.
Yeah, as an attacking right back and up and down the line right back, he's up there with the best in the game. You know, he's as good as anyone, and he's experienced. He knows his game inside out. But there's no secrets in him. We know exactly what he's going to bring to the table. He's not a surprise. But the guy that's on the other side, Nuno Mendes, is exactly the same, and he will do exactly the same on the right-hand side. But the gamble is, does he stay back with Salah if Salah starts to cheat, or is he going to force Salah to have to come back and be alongside Trent? That will be what they're going to try to force us into. And it's a case of, if we can leave Salah a bit higher up, can we play through the press on the right-hand side with Trent, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai to get at PSG on down their left-hand side or right-hand side? It's going to be like, if you ever wanted to see a game of what would an Arne Slot side look like against the Jurgen Klopp side, they're having it in Paris tomorrow night for shits and giggles. That's about the only way I could describe it. They're that relentless, and they're that good on the ball, that and they have threats everywhere. This is the PSG side that FootMob are listing, okay, and I don't agree with it. I think there'll be one other change, but they're going Donnarumma and goal, Hakimi, Marquinhos, Pacho, and Mendes at the back.
Pacho's an interesting one, isn't he, Kev? Because he's a good defender, but I always think he's got a bit. He's also got a bit of the Degsies about him, as in he's very front foot, which is good, and that's how football is. But because he's young, that front footedness can sometimes be over keen, and you can play on that. Yeah,
I mean, their midfield, Fabio Ruiz, who was excellent for Spain in the Euros. I think he'll play as their middle six, with Vitinha and Neves either side of him, and front three, and you can mix and match this up any way you like. Barcola, Kvaratskhelia, and Dembele will be their front three, and they've got movement and pace and guile and trickery. You can't touch them in the box. You can't go near them in the box. And our strength probably has been limiting sides to chances on our goal. So hopefully we can force them into either taking shots from outside the box or trying to force it into the box, and we condense the middle of the park. I think that's probably the way we'll play. We'll try to condense it down the middle, give them the wings. Say, look, if you want to put the ball into the box, good luck. Konate and Virgil will mop that up. But if we try to meet them out on the wings, they're clever enough to be able to pass their way through. But I'd be quite happy to take a score draw out of tomorrow night. Come back to Anfield and have another go on the second leg. And I think that's where we got through.
Yeah. Just a couple of updates. So Dave T saying, evening champions, I like that. Hall and Gordon are out. Botman and Trippier 50-50, and Isak is 60-40. What seemed like a dream final is turning into a nightmare. Well, we don't really. And also, I don't think as Liverpool we will get cocky over that because as we saw,
we were there last year.
We were there last year.
What you can do with an injured squad, it's fine.
Yeah, we've seen that, you know. So certainly not going to count my chickens because Newcastle's still a nightmare to play against. Right. I don't know if this is real, but
I don't know if it's
real
either. It's just people have been throwing this in the chat, and it's on Twitter. This is not verified by me at all. I don't have Arsenal sources that I've verified, but. So
I'll read this out loud. So Ashley says,
according
to Ashley, Arteta said, PSV took apart a fully fit Liverpool in the group stage. So for us to come here tonight with half a squad injured and put in that performance, I'm proud of the boys. It shows mentality. That has to be made up.
It's gotta be fake, guys. I threw it in the chat like 17 times that I thought, you know, is it real? Did someone actually hear the press conference? So thanks for throwing that up there.
You're welcome. But just so you know, if it turns out to be false, it's Ashley that said it. It wasn't me and Kev. Me and Kev would never put up false statements, would we, to Kev?
I swear,
you know what? We say them many times.
Bus, and now you're driving the bus over my dead corpse. Thank you.
Yeah, Brandon Chief's got a comment in here, actually. I just want to come to this 1 sec. Kev, would it be fair to say the Slot doesn't have a style of play? It's more of a style that waits for other teams to make mistakes and attacks them. Honestly, I think when the opponent suits, he's quite happy, like against Chelsea early in the season, like against Man City, to say, fine, we can get at you more if we let you have the ball. If we let you have the ball, you leave yourself open, we can hurt you more that way. PSG will not dominate the ball against this PSG side. They've got too many skillful players in midfield. They've got too many carefree fullbacks that offer width and constantly go. And they will quite happily leave their two centre-backs at the back 1v1 against anyone. It doesn't matter who they are. So just on sheer numbers alone, they will create overloads in midfield and up front. And I think Slot will look at that and basically say, you know what? If we compact the middle of the park and block you off there and force you into putting crosses in or taking long shots, and then we can turn the ball over and then we can hit you on the break faster because we're really good in transition. I think that's how he'll look to play it. That's just another way to beat a side. I think Slot would love to dominate the ball and carve a side open with intricate passing around the box and what have you. Like we have done most of the season, but he's quite comfortable to play a different way to achieve the result. And then you'll probably look at tomorrow night and say that's probably how we're best to deal with this kind of threat.
But the best managers do adapt. This nonsense where some managers who have, I suppose, nowhere near the level of Liverpool and City and Arsenal go, I play my way and I don't change my way. Okay. I guarantee every top manager changed their way. Look at Real Madrid. You know, they will quite happily play dead for an hour if they need to. And if they play a side that they know what they're superior than, they'll pass them off the pitch and batter them on the break. You know, that's what the best managers do. It's a good way of being. So, Ashley, do you want to give a score prediction? Or are we just not speaking now?
I don't know. I'm gonna hold it against you, probably. You know what?
I'm being brave, Kev, but God help me in May.
I'm taking notes. I have receipts. I think it's gonna be a score draw, and I think I'd be okay with that. You know, I think 1-1, 2-2, something like that.
Goal scorers.
I think Mo Salah has a moment in the sun. I think he, he has an incredible Champions League record and his away record's so good. Szoboszlai's been in a rich vein of form. I think I'd probably go him as well. I have no idea for them. So one of their forward line, probably Dembele plus one. But I don't think that I think that they're gonna be quite potent in front of goal, and I think there's gonna be a lot of goal mouth action for both teams.
Cool. Kev, what are you going for?
2-2. Went for Desmond last night. I think I'll go to stick with it. For us, I think Salah scores 2 because I think we'll find ways to get him in on the break. And I think he'll live for nights like this. where it's a proper side you're playing against. And he knows that PSG are desperate to sign him. PSG would give him the sun, moon, and stars to get him as well. So, yeah, I think he'll put in a performance tomorrow night, and he's in cracking form. For them, I think Barcola is a real top young talent. What is he? 22 years of age now. I think he's a phenomenal talent. He's one to keep an eye on. I'm interested to see what Kvaratskhelia is like for them. I mean, we know what Dembele is. We know what he can do. He's quick. He's rapid. But Kvaratskhelia, if he plays down the middle, I don't know what he's like. I've never really seen him play there that much. So
only in the was it the last Euros?
Yeah, and that was kind of weird because they were playing 5-4-1 and trying to get players up to support him. So it'd be interesting to see what he plays like. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to just watching this because they are arguably up there with two of the top 4 sides in Europe at the moment. And, it's a shame they're meeting this early, but it is what it is. And yeah, I think there'll be 2 phenomenal games. If we can come out of this tomorrow night with a win, it'd be a massive achievement. Achievement.
Cool. I'm happy with a score draw because I think there's no disgrace against a score draw. I'm going to say 2-1 Liverpool. Salah, Ramos for them, Canati from a corner. That's what I'm going to go with.
That'd be nice.
That'd be nice, yeah. Right, in the chat, Richard's got 2-1 Liverpool. Bob's got 3-1 Liverpool. Virgil, Salah, Szoboszlai. Avo's gone for 0-0. I don't know. Avo.
Also positive.
I saw something earlier on. Liverpool have scored 101 goals this season so far in all comps. PSG have scored 105.
Yeah,
I think they've scored.
That's why I'm saying I think there's going to be a lot of goal mouth action. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be quiet.
I think they've scored 20. They've scored 27 in their last 5.
Yeah, Megan's gone 2-1 Salah and Szoboszlai. Al Chill's gone 3-3. Gerard's gone 2-1 again. Salah, Diaz and a jammy pen for them. And Dicko's gone 3-1. So a lot of confidence. A few said we need to score 2 to secure this. Listen, I think it'll be. Veranda G says 6-2 over 2 legs. He hasn't said which way. I'm assuming he means for us. Somebody's put 4-0.
So.
I'd love 4-0, but no, absolutely not.
I don't know. I feel like this. I think anything could happen. Honestly, like their form has changed so much from the beginning of the year until now, and they are playing really well right now. But I don't know if they've faced a team like us. I don't think they've faced this challenge recently. Like they're swatting aside sides that I'd expect them to swat aside.
Yeah, I think they beat Man City 4-2.
Yeah, but that was like at the peak of Man City's collapse.
I think they
2-0 down to City as well.
I think they beat Atletico as well.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
I think they lost to Arsenal.
It was a close game. It was 2-1 Atletico. I mean, Bayern beat them by 1. They tied versus PSV, which, if that's anything to go off of.
Yeah.
I think Davey T's gone 2-2, but 4-2 to Liverpool and aggregate. I'm liking Davey T. We should have him on. We should get him on the show. Also, for life, you've got competition now for best opposition fan. There you go.
I just think it's going to be a cracking game. I just think it's going to be a cracking game. Genuinely do. I want to have a quick look actually, just to see what the other, because whatever about tonight, I think tonight's games will be. I just want to see who the other games are tomorrow night. I mean, the early game is Feyenoord against Inter Milan. Bayern against Leverkusen. What?
That'd be a good
Benfica against Barcelona and us against PSG.
I mean, the games tonight kicked off fast. Like in the Madrid game, there was a goal within 5 minutes. I mean,
and it was
the Arsenal game. They were racking up a cricket score. I think that's
Benfica Barcelona. Wasn't that Benfica Barcelona? Wasn't that the mad 6-5 earlier in the season?
What was it?
Benfica against Barcelona. Wasn't that the mad game that?
Oh yeah, that was the one
that Barca won 6-5.
Yeah, they should have been clearing away, and then they fought back. Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I mean, it has been.
That would be great fun to watch.
it's been an exciting competition. Like, I feel like there's been lots of different surprise results, lots of goals. You know,
if anyone gets a chance, go back and watch the goals from that Real Madrid. If you haven't watched it tonight,
they're fantastic. That Alvarez goal is so Salah-esque. And then there was one in the Dortmund game that was very like Thiago, like skimming the surface of the grass. It was great. Yeah,
I think I looked up. I said Salah when I was trying to describe it's Sadio Mane. It's Sadio Mane coming in on his right foot from that side and just curling it into the side netting. Thibaut Courtois is 6'6" man mountain. He couldn't get anywhere. He was catching flies. And the Alvarez goal, unbelievable finish. That game is well alive. 2-1, that is alive. Anything could happen. And I think both of them hop off Arsenal. And that's no disrespect to Arsenal and Arsenal fans. If you're in the chat, fine. I think both of these two are a level above Arsenal. And I don't care what version of Arsenal you got. They are a class apart from Arsenal. I think we will struggle to get to the final. If we get to the final, it'll be because we've got the league done and dusted by the time we would face one of those two in the semi-final. The league will be done and dusted, and we'll be able to really properly focus on the Champions League. Whereas I think the way the Spanish league is going at the minute, it's got to go down to the wire.
Yeah, just a little thing for the people in the chat. Me and Ashley having a laugh at a joke. If you're telling one of our presenters what to do us a favour, bore off and fuck off. Do you know what I mean? Honest to God.
It's a running thing. I know, guys. I know that I look away from the camera. I do. Yeah. I do, because I have another screen with data that I use for the show. Yeah,
you'd have to explain to Ashley. I'm just sick of Muppets who think they can say what they want. So, you know, do us a favour. If you don't like it, fuck off. Nice and simple. Anyway, Kev, right, now I've gone for the chat. I've gone for Ashley. Kev's next. Right.
Don't even think about it, sunshine.
Oh, come on, Kev. You and me have great fun when we go off on each other.
Yeah.
And then we have a big cuddle at the end. It's lovely.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I look forward to.
If you ask me stupid questions about football from years gone by, I'm going, just a heads up.
Well, you're one of the few that was around for the last time we played PSG. The first time we played PSG though was in that no longer the Cup Winners' Cup, the semi-final where we got hammered in their place 3-0 and 1-2 not Anfield, but went out. So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to this. But are you in sales, Chris? I'm definitely not in sales. Trust me, that's not my strength. I'm quite happy in my tech world that I work in. But listen, I'm looking forward to this. Do you fancy?
I'm looking at this for tomorrow night, right? First and foremost, I want to be talking about the game. I hope the fans that go to Paris and are in Paris have a great time and they have a great night. They're treated properly and they enjoy a cracking game of football and come home absolutely 100% safe. That's what we all hope for. I don't want to be talking at the end of the night about incidences with tickets, incidences with police, anything to do with anything negative around Paris, because Paris is a fantastic place, fantastic city. You don't want to be coming away from this with a sour taste or a bad taste because of something that's happened away from the ground. That's first and foremost. I'm really looking forward to it because I'm taking the Champions League this season with not a pinch of salt, but it's the extras. It's the bonus. The Champions League is the bonus. I just want us to go and put a good performance in. If we play to our level and it's not good enough, I'm cool with that. I just don't want to see us not go and put in a performance that we know we're capable of. As long as we put in a performance that I know we're capable of doing, I'm happy. I'm comfortable with any result after that.
Yeah. But be honest, actually, did you get a bit excited in the press conference when they were mentioning, do you remember Joe Fager's first season where he won the European Cup, the League and the League Cup? I was like thinking, oh yeah, it's getting quite exciting. That's an exciting thought, isn't it?
I think it's just an exciting thought, full stop. I think that, seeing Slot be able to kind of prove that, our European pedigree wasn't entirely down to Klopp. I think there's a lot of people that thought oh, well, Liverpool are doing well in the Champions League because they have Klopp and he's this, you know, iconic figure. And while that's true, I think that so many people thought we were just going to fall off a cliff when he left. And for Slot to prove that, you know, this team and him collectively can compete with the best of them, I think that that's just really exciting. It's exciting that we are where we're at currently, and that we are, I don't know, just like at the elite table where I think we deserve to be.
Yeah, it's nice. And Kev, I saw, I think James Pearce tweeted it. Liverpool supporters group were in a meeting today with the French police. I think the French police were trying to reassure Liverpool fans. Obviously, this is the first time we've been back to Paris since the Champions League final, and there've been many incidents at that stadium since where it is horrendously organised. Hopefully, there's none of that shite this time. You're on mute, sorry, Kev.
Yeah, I think the problem with Paris and sporting events recently, I think it's over-policed. And I think, and I have to be fair here, it's with some justification, because they have had bomb scares inside stadiums in Paris in recent years. They have had terrorist attacks in the city in recent years. I understand the need for a high level of policing, but there's a line, and there's a line that they crossed, and that cannot happen again. And I hope that the meeting that James Pearce described was a satisfactory outcome. And I just hope to God the game goes off with that incident, and it's safe, and everyone can enjoy the night. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, you want the only talk about to be what happens on the pitch and nothing else.
Oh, 100%. And I think what will happen on the pitch tomorrow night could be special.
Yeah.
It could be one of those games. It really could. It has the potential to be.
Yeah. Did you watch any of the games last night?
Last night?
No. Oh, God. No, I'm thinking, I was watching Nottingham Forest game. I'm losing track.
Did you watch
that one wasn't exactly exciting.
Genuinely.
No,
and
I forgot it was on. I flicked it on and they went, it's 1-1, it's going to penalties. Oh, great. So I saw the best bit. I saw the penalties and went, this is great.
I didn't watch a single game over the weekend, and I had the best time chilling out, watching Gene Hackman films, and just relaxing without watching football. I had the best time.
I enjoyed the Sunday games. I can't deny it. I did enjoy the Sunday games. They were quite cool.
I just really enjoyed not watching football for a weekend, because we've been, and I think it's probably, we'll finish up in a minute, but over this season, it's been non-stop. It's been since the last international break in October, wasn't it? Or November. We've been flat out football-wise with League Cup, FA Cup, Champions League group games, Premier League games. It's been non-stop all the time, constant. To have a weekend where it doesn't matter. I just genuinely did not care. I saw the incident, what happened at Millwall, because it flashed up on a link to watch it. And I genuinely was like, wow, that's insane. And I just went back to watching Runaway Jury. You know what I mean?
Oh, it was Jury, good film.
Yeah, it was just one of those weekends where I had the best time not watching football. Loved it.
Yeah. Did you enjoy the Klopp Amazon Prime thing?
I did. I watched it.
Wasn't much behind the scenes stuff as they made out. By the way, on the internet, Harvey Elliott's dad's getting pelters.
I wish I could watch it. I got a couple clips and they got taken down.
Yeah. It's
not in the US. It's not in Canada. It's not in Germany. It's weird how they didn't release it internationally. I'm sure they will eventually, but I know that there's a lot of people here that are really pissed off about it.
It's a weird one, because I'd probably say 3/4 of the case, if you're a Liverpool fan, none of that was new. There's a few little bits, like, oh, that's nice, or a few little bits behind it, but majority of that you were like, well, I sort of knew all this anyway, so there was nothing. It was quite nice to reminisce some of the big moments.
I'll give credit where it's due. The Anfield Rap did a really good series with Top Left. I think it was better. I genuinely do. I mean, they didn't have the inside the ground stuff, but I think they had the interviews and they had the background and stories and everything like that.
Theirs was really good.
Credit where it's due. there's not that many people who work at the Anfield Wrap, and the fact that they're doing it as a bunch of amateurs, they're very good at what they do, but they're not an Amazon. So yeah, no, I enjoyed the Amazon one. I thought it was really, really good, but yeah, I preferred the Anfield Wrap one.
Yeah. I mean, I look forward to getting it here eventually. I think the timing of the release feels a little bit off.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know. I don't necessarily need to relive the Klopp years right now. I'm actually quite happy where we are. Hopefully that comes out here in the summer and it's something that I can, just watch in my free time after enjoying the season. I'm okay with not, I'm annoyed that it's not released here, but I'm okay with not reliving it right now. I'm not in that frame of mind.
Yeah. So housekeeping, because otherwise I'll get told off again. Nothing new there. Don't forget our charity partners, which is fan supporting food banks and the Lighthouse Cafe in Dublin. Aims to get to €10,000, and they'll give €5,000 to each. Link is in the description below. And the other one is friend of the show, Pete Smith. He's got Kev, remember, he's got a play on it in Dublin. Also, that in April. I think there's more dates in June. Is that right, Kev? He's looking at me. You're on mute again, please.
Sorry, it's just my dog is going ape in the back. But no, if you like Thin Lizzy, if you like Phil Lynott, and that's your thing, Pete is playing Phil Lynott in a stage show in Vicar Street in Dublin. The April one is almost sold out. It's being rebooked again for June. So if you're going to be in Dublin in around June, book it. I think it's €46 for the. And by all accounts, it's brilliant. And I'd imagine it would be because Pete is a brilliant musician in his own right. They're also doing a show in Limerick as well, which I'm hopefully going to be able to go to. Is after the Vicar Street one, and he's also in a film. What's the name of the film again? Red
Alert Spain. So
Red Alert Spain.
Pete, not only can he sing, he's very, very good at singing. He's also an actor as well. So he's got a film coming out. We've got a link below to the trailer. The trailer's really good. So let's get it right. He can sing. He can act. He's good looking as well.
He looks down the barrel of the camera all the time. So if you want someone that stares down the barrel of the camera, he's your man.
He's your man.
And he's good looking as well. He's just very. It's just
really.
not fair. I know, it's just not fair. And Ashley's like, and I get stuck with these two bums. How's this working out? This is not what I was promised.
That's all right.
So check that out because and hopefully we'll have Pete on the show again soon. Hopefully.
Yeah, I can't wait.
When he's not
chat to him in ages, to be honest.
When he's not globe-trotting, he's a hard man to tie down. So rest of the week we've got reaction show tomorrow, and we've got a reaction show extra, which will be with Gav and Matt, and then Thursday we've got a preview show with. I think it's yourself and Ashley, isn't it? You haven't got me, so Ashley will be relieved. Friday, I think we've got a show Friday, and then Saturday we're going to do the final 20 again because it was so popular. We're going to do it again, and then we've got post-match reaction and the
it's with us this time, which is going to be a little bit different, right? Because
hopefully I'll be there for that Saturday one. It's whether I'm back from football training.
Look, basically, there's shed load of shows. Make sure you got all your alerts on, and when it goes live, you will know. And if you're in the Patreon app already, make sure your notifications are turned on because all of the shows will be put up on Patreon so that you can get a link direct from Patreon to YouTube that way as well. So just make sure your alerts are on and you're away for Slates and Laughing Mad.
Good shout, Pete. Good shout, Kev. Speaking of Patreon, we go live on Patreon mid-March, isn't it? 18th
day after Paddy's Day, 18th of March.
So what could go wrong, eh? So 18th of March. So what will happen is all the free shows that you can still see, they'll still be on YouTube. That's no problem. But for all the new members only stuff, that will be on. You have to go through the Patreon app, and there will be live shows still. You just go through Patreon, it takes you into a private setting, and it just gives us more flexibility. So we could do a few more things like Good Process, which we really enjoyed doing. Talking through the clips, we've got loads of ideas, haven't we, Kevin? Unfortunately, we've got so many ideas. Gav's now got about 10 weeks of work to do.
He's got a full-time job just clipping videos now.
Yeah. We'll keep him busy, don't worry.
Oh yeah, keeps him out of trouble. Cool. Until then, anything from you guys before we go? Kev's happy.
No.
All good. Time to go.
Ash happy. Right.
I'm going to leave before you can throw me under the third bus of the night.
That's what I'm here for.
You're dead.
Ah, you love it. Right. Until then, take care. Speak soon. Bye-bye.
She's got it.